What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Sinester, sorry if I mispronounce your name, who is going to be on Sylvan versus Twilight Angel, who is going to be on 3.5 Axis Fire Fist. Both of these decks are very cool, and I know a lot of people really enjoy both, so this should be an interesting match. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like Twilight Angel is going to win the rock, paper, scissors, and they will get to start out, which is very important for the 3.5 Axis deck. Opening hands, we see Miracle Fertilizer, Princess Sprout, Vanity's Emptiness, Soul Charge, and Princess Sprout. And on the other side, we see Gorilla Rooster, Instant Fusion, Upstart Goblin, and Soul Charge. Not really the craziest hand here from Twilight Angel. Obviously, they have access to, a rank 3 if they wanted, or potentially a rank 4 if they're playing the level 4 as well. So that is something. They have Upstart, they're going to get a draw for turn, but they are really going to need something to get the plays rolling here. Here, drawing into a copy of Fire Formation Goyoku. So unfortunately, one of the weaker Fire Formation cards. Obviously, they would have preferred something like a Tenki or Tensu. My apologies, got it kind of mixed up. Here, they're going to go Upstart and draw into a copy of Dragon, which is actually kind of interesting here. I don't play this personally in my build, but in general, this card says once per turn, if you activate a Fire Formation spell or trap card, except during the damage step, you can set one Fire Formation trap directly from your deck. So maybe they are on the traps as well. And then the secondary effect of this is actually pretty decent. It says once per turn, you can send 2 face-up Fire Formation spell or traps you control to the graveyard, target 1 Fire Fist monster in your graveyard, except Dragon, and special summon that target. Unfortunately, though, yeah, their hand isn't great. We're going to have to see what instant fusion target they have if they choose to go for that. It would have been good if this was, like, again, any other Fire Formation card, because then they can go Rooster and swap it out for anything and then do an instant fusion play and make a rank 3 if need be. The other thing I just realized is they are on 30 or 44 cards and they're playing Upstart Goblin. That's a choice for sure. But anyways, let's keep going with this match. Here, they're going to summon Rooster, activate Instant Fusion, and get a copy of Cherubin. So it looks like they are just going to go for a rank 3, going for a defensive copy of Zenmaines here. Over to Sinester, who gets a copy of Cherub Sprout. Okay, so they're going to summon the Princess Sprout, use the effect to excavate the top card. That was insane to hit the Lone Fire off of that, and they have Soul Charge. So here they are going to go for Soul Charge, getting the Lone Fire and the copy of the Princess Sprout, which if they want, yep, they can use Lone Fire. People tend to forget that it can tribute any plant monster you control, not just itself. So here they are going to go get another Lone Fire, and then after that going into a copy of the Sylvan Hermitry. From here, they're going to use the effect, excavating the top card. Unfortunately, it's Charity, so that is going to go to the bottom of the deck. But here they can set Vanity's Emptiness and pass it over. The Vanity's Emptiness is cool when you can, like, lock it down with, for example, Spark Dragon in this deck. It's a little more risky in this exact situation because if Twilight Angel really wanted, they could just switch the Zenmaines to attack, crash into the tree. This will protect itself, and then in the end phase, they just pop this. They don't even really need to do that because they have the Goyoku, which is going to kind of meet that. But anyways, here they draw a copy of Upstart Goblin for turn, and they are going to summon Dragon, activate the Goyoku. So it's basically going to kind of like Soul of Silver Mountain, lock down that card, and they can't activate it in response to this card's activation. And then the Dragon is going to trigger to set a Fire Formation trap. So here they're going to get a copy of Tensin. I'll go over this one real quick. Again, not every build plays the traps. This one says when this card is activated, target 1 Beast Warrior type monster you control. It gains 700 attack until the end of this turn, and it stays even if it leaves the field. And then all Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 300 attack. So it is a pretty solid card. Here they are going to switch that Zenmaines to attack and do exactly as I said, crashing into that Hermitry, protecting itself, and then Dragon can get over the Lone Fire. In the end phase, they're actually going to go for the Hermitry, which makes sense, obviously, I guess, because of the Goyoku tying down this Emptiness. It's not really a threat at this point. Here, Sinestro gets a copy of Terraforming, pretty good draw there. They're going to get it and get a copy of Sylvania, using Sylvania pitching Cherub Sprout to stack a copy of Komashrumo to the top of the deck. After that, activating Miracle Fertilizer to summon back the Hermitry, which they can use the effect, and they are going to excavate that Komashrumo, get a draw here, getting a copy of Sage Koya, very strong here, and then from here, Komashrumo is going to trigger to pop a spell or trap. I believe it has to be set or just one spell or trap. It's been a little while. Oh, it is just a spell or trap. And then obviously the Sage Koya, because a Sylvan monster is sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, they can go and special summon it. So here the Sage Koya comes down, and the Komashrumo is going to attempt to pop the Tensin, or is it Tensin? Yeah, Tensin. And so then the Tensin is going to be chained to that. So now the, can't mid-chain. Wait, let me see what's going on. Can't mid-chain. Oh no, I can. You need to target before. Oh, yeah. So this does target. If this card is excavated on top of the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, yeah, they target. So it's all going to be one chain. So obviously in this exact scenario, the Komashrumo got milled, they draw, and then after that, it will be a new chain, and it's going to be the Komashrumo, the Sage Koya Komashrumo, or whatever order they had done there, and so they are able to chain this to the effect of that. So here, I guess they misclicked a little bit, and after that, so this is going to gain the boost of 1,000, and then it looks like they are going to attack into the Zen mains there, and then it'll protect itself, and then they can attack over it again, and that will clear it. And from here, they're going to pass it over. Twilight Angel gets a copy of Instant Fusion, not Instant Fusion, Upstart Goblin, which they are going to draw into a copy of Fire Formation Yoko. So they are really deep in on these Fire Formation cards. This one's kind of interesting. It says when this card's activated, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, discard one Beast Warrior monster, and if you do, destroy that target, and then all Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 100 attack. So here, they're going to take a second to think. They're going to activate the Yoko, use the effect discarding the copy of Gorilla here to pop the Hermitry, and also the Dragon is going to trigger to set another trap. Obviously, by getting rid of the Hermitry, it gets rid of the Fertilizer, because Fertilizer says that if a monster special summoned by this effect leaves the field, destroy this card. And anyways, here they're going to be setting a copy of Tensin. Okay, so this one's kind of like, I believe it's like a Forbidden Lance, sort of. Activate only during main phase 1. When this card's activated, target one Beast Warrior type monster you control. During this phase, its effects are negated. Also, it's unaffected by the effects of other cards other than this card. So I guess it's more so like a Forbidden Dress, sort of. And then it applies even if it leaves the field, then all Beast Warrior type monsters you control gain 300 attack. From here, looks like they're just adjusting attack. They're going to go Instant Fusion, and they are playing the copy of Darkfire Dragon. Okay, so I guess in theory they might have had a rank 4 play they could have gone for turn 1 as well. But anyways, after that, they are going to overlay into Honor Arc, use the effect to take that copy of Sage Koya, and from here, they're going to think a second, and going for Soul Charge. Okay, just trying to make a big push. They're going to get the Gorilla, and here, if they want, they are going to get rid of the Yoko to pop the Sylvania so that Sinestro can't keep stacking and getting advantage out of it. And then over to Sinestro, who gets a copy of Soul Charge. So, great top deck there. And they're going to use it and go for Lone Fire, Hermitry, and Princess Sprout. Okay, so like a crazy deck that Sylvan takes advantage of Soul Charge extremely well. And even looking at this, Twilight Angel is extremely low on life. So there's a lot of different options they can go for here. And obviously the Tenkin isn't going to do a whole lot. So let's see what they do here. They're going to go Lone Fire into another Hermitry, Lone Fire into a Sage Koya. From here, they're going to use Princess Sprout, hitting the top card, and it's going to be a Blaster. And what's crazy about this is one of the few cards that says you contribute this card, excavate the top card of your deck, send it to the graveyard, then you can place one Sprout monster in your graveyard on top of your deck. So unlike other Sylvan cards that if it's not a plant, it goes to the bottom of the deck, this is one of the few that will make so the card actually goes to graveyard. So because of that, it means that this Blaster is going to go in grave, so then they can, banish fires if need be and be able to go for a rank 7. So that was like the perfect draw there. And so that goes to grave. Then they're Hermitrying and drawing into a copy of Vanity's Emptiness, because the other effect of the Princess Sprout is Let me just see here. It says, when it says you can place one sprout monster in your graveyard on top of your deck, obviously it's tributing itself, and in that point it's stacking itself. So then when the Hermitry activate, it excavates this, that you get a draw, which was this emptiness, and then this will use its effect to summon back and change its level from anything from 1 to 8. So that's exactly what happened here. Sage Koya is going to activate, hitting Charity. Charity goes to the bottom, overlaying for a copy of Aurea, using the effect getting rid of the Hermitry to look at the top 8 cards and put them back in any order. And let's see. From here, they are going to use the Hermitry and go for its effect to excavate, hitting the Martial Leaf. So now they get another draw, this time into Terraforming. Martial Leaf will trigger to pop a monster, and that is going to force out the Tenkin, which is exactly what they want, because now they're going to use Aurea, going for, 3 off the top. The Lance is going to go back, but then because they had got rid of the Spore, and I believe, what was it, the Sage Koya? No, the Sage Koya came from underneath it. I think it might have been another Hermitry. So at that point, they're going to be able to bounce 2 cards, or up to 2 cards. And then here, it looks like they're drawing 2. What did they draw 2 from here? I'm not in... Oh, wait, 3. What did they just do? Oh, so they did hit a Hermitry there. So what they were doing was excavating. I guess they drew it rather than how they've been, banishing face down for that. But anyways, yeah, so here just rearranging the top cards. After that, using Spore by banishing Sage Koya. So now this is a level 8, so they can go for another 8, going for a copy of Alse, which they're going to then activate Terraforming, getting the Mount Sylvania, discarding the Princess Sprout. And there was a Sage Koya that went there real quick. Just a little misclick. And anyways, it looks like Twilight Angel is going to scoop it up there. They have seen enough. Yeah, that was a crazy turn getting that soul charge and stuff. Sorry if that sounded a little bit confusing. There was definitely a lot going on there. But anyways, moving on into game number 2, Twilight Angel will get to start this one out again. Opening hands, we see Curry Bandit, Miracle Fertilizer, Soul Charge, Forbidden Lance, and Hermitry. And on the other side, we see Dark Hole, Rooster, Leopard, Tenki, and Fiendish Chain. So definitely a better hand, and they get a draw for turn. It actually looks like they are letting Sinestro start this one out. That's interesting. I wonder why they would do that. Like, usually, you definitely don't want to be letting the Sylvan deck go first, because if they can set up, like, multiple Felgrand, if they're on multiple, or even just one, or, as I mentioned, like, Stardust, Spark, plus Vanities, that is just not a good time for you. But here, just, summoning Curry Bandit and setting the Lance, going to end phase, using Curry Bandit, and they are excavating Princess Sprout, Curry Bandit, Komashrumo, Sage Koya, and Hermitry. So here they're going to get multiple things, getting the copy of Princess Sprout summoned, getting to look at the top 3 being Maxi, Charity, and Lonefire. Really crazy cards there, putting them back. The Sylvan Charity is going to be the top card. So really good draw there next. And then after that, passing it over to Twilight Angel, who is going to get a copy of Upstart Goblin. From here, though, it looks like I guess they were also just checking the level there. So the Princess Sprout's going to be level 8. Twilight Angel is going to go for the Upstart to start out, getting a copy of Instant Fusion. So yeah, this hand is very, very good, and this Lance isn't going to do too much here. So here, let's see what they go for. They're going to go Tenki and add a copy of Gorilla. Okay, interesting play here, because I guess what they could have done if they wanted is add Spirit, and then they can just normal Leopard, tribute it off, go for Tensu, and then with the additional summon of Tensu, you go for the whole line with Spirit. So Spirit would summon back the Leopard, you go into Horse Prince. Horse Prince would then summon out a copy of Rooster. Rooster can cycle for a different fire formation. You can then instant fusion into your Cherubin and then go into a copy of Lion Emperor, use Lion Emperor, and get back your copy of Spirit, so you have it as follow-up. And at that point, you'd have whatever fire formation you had chosen, plus obviously you'd have your Fiendish Chain, and you're in just a much better position there. But here, let's just see how they decide to go about playing this one out. Here, they're going to go and summon that Gorilla, use the effect getting rid of the Tenki to pop the back row, but the Lance is going to be chained to that. After that, just going to battle phase, and then the Gorilla is going to trigger to set get a Fire Formation spell or trap. So here going for the copy of Tensu. Okay, interesting. And they are going to summon that leopard, use the effect, tribute it off to get another copy of Tenki. After that, setting the Fiendish and passing it over to Sinestro. Very weird plays, honestly, from Twilight Angel here. I'm not entirely sure, one, why they let Sinestro actually go first when they had lost that game 1. And just that whole play right there felt slightly off to me. Like, I can't see a world in which they're not on something like Horse Prince. I wish it would show me their extra deck. But yeah, no, that feels a little bit bizarre there. Maybe if you guys have a reasoning why they might, definitely let me know in the comment section, because, from playing this deck, that play there just didn't make sense. But anyway, Sinestro gets their copy of Sylvan Charity, and they're going to activate it, drawing Lonefire, Maxi, and Sylvania, putting back Maxi and Hermitry. From here, they're going to summon Lonefire, use the effect, tribute it off, go Lonefire into Hermitry, use Sylvania, discarding Spore, stacking a Koma Shroomo, using the Hermitry to then send the Koma Shroomo and draw into Emptiness. Also, again, very weird. Maybe they're just playing fast because Twilight Angel does have this Fiendish Chain, so if they really wanted to, they could stop this, so then they're not hitting the Koma Shroomo and getting the draw here, which maybe we'll see. They are going to think for a second here, and it looks like they're going after the back row. So yeah, they are doing that play. It looks like Sinestro is just playing really, really fast. Guys, when you do play online, make sure you're giving your opponent proper response windows and stuff like that, and not just going through effects and stuff. So here, yeah, they are just going and kind of resetting the game state there. But anyways, Soul Charge is activated, and they're going to go for a really big play, going for, what was that, 4? And so here, Hermitry is going to, do the same thing anyways, hitting that Koma Shroomo and popping the Tenki. Next, using the Lonefire, getting another Hermitry here, using the effect, hitting the Lance. The Lance goes to the bottom, overlaying for a copy of Felgrand. After that, tributing off the Lonefire for a Sage Koya, overlaying both for a Dracosack. And they're going to use the Dracosack, getting rid of a token, to pop the copy of Gorilla there. And then what just happened? I'm not entirely sure why they didn't get rid of that. Again, this kind of shows that they are playing sort of fast, unfortunately, because now they're going to go for the Spore and banish the Sage Course, and now it's an 8, and they are playing double Felgrand. So yeah, double Felgrand Dracosack Vanities is really, really strong. And over to Twilight Angel, who gets a copy of Leopard. They're going to use Dark Hole. Obviously, the Felgrands are going to use their effects to protect themselves. And then Dracosack, there was a token on board, so Dracosack will just survive. Tensu's going to activate to summon the copy of Rooster. Rooster is going to swap out for a copy of Tenki. Tenki is going to activate to get Spirit. So now they're kind of going for the Spirit play. And so they're going to use their regular normal to go for Spirit, but Vanities is going to be activated. Yeah, and at that point, Sinestro just had it with the Emptiness. Unfortunately, Twilight Angel just didn't see the line on the previous turn to go for this, because as far as I'm remembering, there wasn't a reason why they shouldn't have. And in terms of, Sinestro's play here, it's unfortunate they played a little fast, and maybe that kind of threw them off a little too. But anyways, still a pretty cool match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.